Hello everyone, this is Dr. S. Lakshmi, Associate Professor from the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. I welcome you to the fifth video of the course, Power Electronics. In this video, let us discuss about the topic three-phase voltage source inverters. In the previous video, we discussed about single-phase voltage source inverters and current source inverter. In this video, let us discuss about three-phase voltage source inverter. So three-phase voltage source inverter or a three-phase bridge inverter, it converts a DC voltage into a three-phase AC voltage. So in a three-phase bridge inverter, we have two types. One is 180-degree conduction mode and the other one is 120-degree conduction mode. So this 180-degree and 120-degree is nothing but the time interval each thyristor is going to conduct. So that is based upon the time interval of its conduction. It is classified into two types, 180-degree conduction mode and 120-degree conduction mode. And in both the type of inverter, we get a stepped output waveform. We get a three-phase stepped output waveform. We will discuss how this DC voltage is converted into a three-phase AC voltage, and the frequency amplitude both can be controlled by giving appropriate pulse signals to the switches connected in the power circuit of a three-phase bridge inverter. So here, as we all know that for an inverter, we connect a capacitor across the input voltage. So the purpose of the input capacitor is just to maintain a constant DC voltage input. That is, irrespective of the variation on the load side, my input voltage will remain constant. But the input current may obviously vary, but the input voltage will remain constant. So that is the need of that is a property of the capacitor connected across the input source voltage of a inverter. Any inverter it may be, it is always connected with a capacitor across the input side. And for a three-phase inverter, we have to connect totally 6 thyristors or 6 power switching devices. So here we are going to use only thyristors for control. So the thyristors are connected in this way. So 3 thyristors are connected on the upper limb and 3 thyristors are connected on the lower limb. So it is connected. We have to take the numbering of the thyristor in the same fashion so that it will be easy for us to do the analysis part. So we will be connecting T1, T3, T5 on the upper limb and T4, T6, T2 on the lower limb. And we can see that we have a diode connected across each switches. We know the purpose of the diodes connected across each switches. It is called as feedback diodes. This diode, the purpose of this diode is just to create a path for the energy from the load side to get discharged. So if there is any energy storage elements on the load side, so it has to get discharged once the conduction is over. So when it gets discharged, it needs a path for it to discharge its energy. So just for creating a path, we have these diodes connected across each switches connected in the inverter. So the purpose of the diode is just to create a path for the energy to get discharged. So for across each thyristors, we will have diodes connected anti-parallelly across each switches. And these diodes are also numbered in the same fashion: D1, D3, D5, D4, D6, and D2. And these diodes will not come into action if my load is a purely resistive load. So if it is a purely resistive load, there is no energy storage element. So there is no need of a diode to come into action. So it will come into action only if there is an energy storage element like inductor or capacitor connected on the load side. And this three-phase load. So this three-phase load, it can be either star connected or delta connected. So whatever may be the conduction mode, whether it may be 180-degree conduction mode or 120-degree conduction mode, the power circuit of a three-phase bridge inverter is this circuit only. So irrespective of the type, the power circuit remains the same for both the type of inverters. So let us see each type of inverter separately, how it works. And the voltage, we can see that we have three phases. It is so just assume that it is a star connected. Let it be star or delta. If it is a star connected, it is the voltage across two phases A, B. This is VBC and this is VCA. So we will see each type separately. So first let us discuss about 180-degree conduction mode. So in this 180-degree conduction mode, I said already that each thyristor is going to conduct for 180-degree. So thyristor pair in each arm. So we can see that in each arm. So this first arm, it is T1, T4. Second arm, it is T3, T6. And third arm, it is T5, T2. That is how it is connected. So thyristor pair in each arm, that is T1, T4, T3, T6 and T5, T2 are turned on with an time interval of 180 degree. That is when T1, T4 is on. So then the next set of thyristor will be turning on at a time interval of 180 degree. So it means that T1 remains on for 180 degree and T4 conducts for the next 180 degree of cycle. So T1 will conduct for first 180 degree, and when this T1 turns off, T4 will come into conduction. So that is how it works. So thyristors in the upper group, that is T1, T3, T5 conducts at an interval of 120 degree. So once this T1 is turned on, the next thyristor T3 will turn on at a time interval of 120 degree. We will see that. It implies that if T1 is fired at 0 degree, T3 will be fired at 120 degree and T5 will be fired at 240 degree. Same is also true for the lower group of thyristors T4, T6 and T2. I shall explain that with respect to the circuit diagram. See here. So let me assume that my thyristor T1 is going to turn on at 0 degree. So T1 will be turned on at 0 degree and it conducts for 180 degree. After reaching 180 degree, my T4 will come into conduction. Similarly, this T1 starts at 0 degree. So T3 will turn on at 120 degree. That is, after this starts, after 120 degree time interval, my T3 will come into action. So this will start at 120 degree and it will conduct for another 180 degree. And once that stops, my T6 will start to conduct. Similarly, my T5 will conduct with a 120 degree angle difference with respect to T3, and T5 will again continue to conduct for 180 degree, and once this is off, T2 will come into action. So this is how the circuit works. So we can see the waveform here. So we can see the pulse diagram here. So this is my y-axis. This is my reference x-axis. So we can see that this is 0. Okay. So from 0 to 180 degree, my T1 conducts. And once it reaches 180 degree, the next thyristor in the same limb, T4 will conduct for another 180 degree. And again, the cycle continues. Again, T1 will conduct for another 180. Then again, it is T4, then T1, T4, the cycle continues. Now, the next set of thyristor, that is the thyristor connected in the second limb, that is T3, T6. So we can see that. So T1 starts at 0 after 120 degree. So let me say this is 120 degree. At 120 degree, my thyristor T3 will come into conduction. So from this point till 120 plus 180. So till 300, my T3 will conduct. Then from 300 to 480, T6 will conduct. Then again the cycle continues. So we can see that the next limb thyristor, that is T5, T2. So the T3 starts at 120 degree here. So my T5 will start at 240 degree. That is the instant after T3 with a phase angle of 120 degree. That is T5 will start to conduct with the phase difference of 120 degree with reference to the thyristor T3. So this T5 will again conduct for 180. Next, the T2 will conduct, then the cycle continues. So we are going to equally distribute this whole x-axis with respect to 60-degree intervals. So the first 60 degree, this much is the first 60 degree, then the next 60 degree. So let us divide the whole time into different time intervals, So 0 to 60, 60 to 120, 120 to 180, 180 to 240, 240 to 300, 300 to 360, and then the cycle is going to get continued in the same fashion. So we can see that in the first 60 degree, the thyristors 1, 6 and 5 are in conduction. So we can just mention the thyristor which are in conduction. 5, 6, 1 are in conduction. And the next 60 degree, the thyristors 6, 1 and 2 are in conduction. And in the next 60 degree, thyristor 1, 2 and 3 are in conduction. And in the fourth interval, it is 2, 3, 4. And the fifth interval, it is 3, 4, 5. And in the sixth interval, it is 4, 5, 6. Again, in the next interval is going to be the same. That is, it is going to get repeated. 5, 6, 1, 6, 1, 2, and the cycle is going to repeat. So let us see for each 60 degree how the circuit is going to operate. So the first step, as said earlier, in the first step, the thyristors 5, 6, 1 are in conduction. So let us go back to the circuit diagram. So in this circuit diagram, the thyristor 1, 5 and 6 are in conduction. That is 2 thyristors from the upper limb and 1 thyristor from the lower limb. So for each 60 degree, in a 180 degree conduction mode, 3 thyristors are said to be in conduction. In that 3 thyristors, 2 will be from upper limb and 1 will be from the lower limb, or 1 will be from the upper limb and 2 will be from the lower limb. So this is how it works. So here in this case, 2 thyristors are from the upper limb. That is 1 and 5 are in the upper limb and 6 in the lower limb. So we'll come back to the step 1 circuit. So here the 5 switches on, 1 switches on and 6th switches on. So I said already we are going to assume the load to be a 3-phase star connected load. So we have the star connected load here. So this is my neutral point. So the voltage between 2 phases is a phase voltage, and between the phase and the neutral it is the line voltage. So the same circuit we can just read out like this. So if you read through the circuit, we will get the connection in this pattern. So we can see that based upon basic Kirchhoff's laws, we get the voltage across A0 and C0 as Vs by 3, and the voltage across VBO, that is OB will be 2 Vs by 3. So it just means that VBO is nothing but minus 2 Vs by 3. So VA0 is equal to VC0 is equal to Vs by 3, and VB0 is equal to minus 2 Vs by 3. Just if you add all the 3 voltages, we get 0. That's it. So during the step 1, if you derive the expression, you get the current expression as 2 Vs by 3 into Z. So Z is nothing but the value of impedance. If it can be just Z or R. Assume it is resistive load or impedance, no problem. So we are not going to go deep into it. Just assume it is a impedance. Z is nothing but R plus JX. And the line to neutral voltages are given by the expression. So I said it is VA0 is equal to VC0 is nothing but Vs by 3, and B0 is equal to minus 2 Vs by 3. Similarly, we are going to derive the expressions for the line voltages and phase voltages for each step each 60-degree interval separately. So the second step, the switches turned or on or 1, 6 and 2. That is, we can see that 1 from the upper limb and 2 from the lower limb. So the same circuit we can redraw like this. So if you redraw, we get 1 from the upper limb and 2 from the lower limb. So we get the expression for voltage as 2 Vs by 3. It is nothing difficult. Just we have to calculate the expression for current. Then substitute in the voltage expression. V is equal to I into Z. So if you substitute, we get the voltage expression V as 2 Vs by 3 and V naught is equal to Vc naught is equal to minus Vs by 3. And in the third step, the switches 1, 2 and 3 are turned on. So we can see that 2 from the upper limb and 1 from the lower limb. So we redrawing the circuit, we get this circuit and we get Va naught is equal to Vb naught is equal to Vs by 3 and Vc naught is equal to minus 2 Vs by 3. So just we can make it simple. Whenever there is a single load on, single load on a particular limb, the voltage will be equal to 2 Vs by 3. And if it on the top side, it is plus, and if it is on the bottom side, it is minus. That's it. We can make it as simple like that. And next step is step 4. So in step 4, the switches 2, 3, 4 are turned on. So 1 from the upper limb and 2 from the lower limb. So 1 from the upper limb, 1 is connected to, so you can see that the third line is connected to the B phase, isn't it? So from plus it is B, then it is splitted into 2. It is connected via 2 and 4 to the load. So the same, from plus it is B, 2 and 4 to the load. So that's it. So we get V naught is equal to 2 Vs by 3 and Va naught is equal to Vc naught is equal to minus Vs by 3. So similarly, we have to determine the expression for step 5 and step 6. So based upon those expressions, we are going to draw the waveforms for the line voltages Va naught, Vb naught and Vc naught. So you get we can see that we get a stepped output. So we get a 3-stepped output in the line voltages. So these are the output voltage of the 3-phase bridge inverter with 180-degree conduction mode. And of course, by finding out the line voltages, we can easily find out the phase voltages. Phase voltages VAB is nothing but VA naught plus VOB. So for each time instant, we can easily determine the phase voltage and we can draw the output voltage of the phase output voltage of particular interval. So we get the output voltage like this. So we can see the last waveform here. So this is the output voltage. So these are the output voltage for a 180-degree conduction mode 3-phase voltage source inverter. So this is about 180-degree conduction mode. So next is 120-degree conduction mode. It is similar to that of the previous case, but here in this conduction mode, each thyristor is going to conduct for 120 degree. The previous case it was for 180 degree, and here it is going to conduct for 120 degree. So let me assume that the circuit connections are same. That is 135 on the top and 462 on the bottom, and we have one. So we have the limbs like this: T1, T4, T3, T6, T5, T2. So in 120-degree conduction mode, what is the difference? So let me start in the same way. So T1 is going to start at 0 degree. So this T1 will conduct for 120 degree, and after it stops conduction for the next 60 degree, no thyristor is under conduction. No thyristor will be under conduction. So it is just off. Then after 180, my T4 will start to conduct for another 120 degree. Rest are all same as that of the 180-degree conduction mode. Only thing is here one switch is going to conduct for 120-degree. That's the difference. So we can see that my switch T1 will conduct for 120-degree. And then for the next 60-degree, no thyristor is under conduction. And then again, the next set of thyristor T1, after T1 it is T3. T3 T4 will continue to conduct. Whereas the next thyristor will T3 will conduct at 120-degree phase difference from this point to this point. So we can see the diagram here. See here, from 0 to 120, S1 will conduct, and 120 to 180, no thyristor is under conduction. Then from 180 to 300, T4 will conduct. Then again 60-degree, no conduction. Then again S1 will conduct for 120-degree. The cycle continues. So this is for the first limb. For the second limb, my thyristor S3 will conduct at 120-degree till 240. Then again from 240 to 300, no thyristor will be under conduction. Then after S3, S3, S6 will be under conduction. S6 will conduct for 120-degree and the cycle continues. Similarly, my S5 will start to conduct at 240-degree. From 240 to 360, S5 will conduct, and next 60-degree, no conduction. Then the cycle continues. So this is how it works. So the selected time of conduction is 120-degree. The switch S1 will be opened after 120-degree. After 120-degree of the first phase, the second phase will have a positive cycle as mentioned before. So here, if you see the set of thyristors conducting, for each interval, we can see that only 2 thyristors are under conduction. We can see from this diagram, for the first 60-degree, S1 and S4 are under conduction. From 60 to 120, it is S1 and S6. Then 120 to 180, it is S3 and S6. Then from 180 to 240, it is S2 and S3. Then from 240 to 300, it is S2 and S5. Then from 300 to 360, it is S4 and S5. Then the cycle continues. So in a 180-degree conduction mode, for each 60-degree, 3 thyristors were under conduction. For 120-degree, 2 thyristors are under conduction, one from the upper limb and one from the lower limb. Whereas in 180-degree conduction, one from the upper limb, 2 from the lower limb, or 2 from the upper limb and 1 from the lower limb. So that is the only difference. Rest of the working condition, the operation is all similar to that of the 180-degree conduction mode. The same thing is explained here. So we can see each step separately. So first 60-degree, S1 and S4 are turned on. So when S1 and S4 are turned on, so we can just look at the circuit diagram, one from the upper switch and low from the lower limb. So here also we are going to connect just a 3-phase star connected load. So let it be Z or R, whatever it is. Here we have just taken it as R. No matter if it is Z also, we will be getting the same expression for VAB, VBC, VCA. Okay. So if you derive the expression for VA naught, just apply basic Ohm's law and Kirchhoff's laws. We get the voltage across VAB as Vs and VBC as minus Vs by 2 and VCA as minus Vs by 2. Because VA naught is equal to Vs by 2. So we can see that we have taken equal load only. So whatever voltage we are going to apply, the same voltage will be exactly divided by half and it will appear across the each load. So VA naught is equal to Vs by 2. V naught is equal to minus Vs by 2. There is no connection for the C phase. So VC naught is equal to 0. VAB is nothing but VA naught plus VOB or VA naught minus VBU. So just substitute that. We get the expression for VAB as Vs, VBC as minus Vs by 2 and VCA as minus Vs by 2. So coming to the next step. So next step is 60 to 120 degree. So in this step, S1 and S6 are closed. So we can see that 1 is from the upper limb and 6 is on the lower limb. So just see the connection. 1 is taking the path through A and 6 is taking the path through C. So only A and C are in connection. B is not in the picture itself. So B naught is equal to 0. So VA naught is equal to VA naught is on the upper side. So VA naught is obviously is equal to the positive voltage. So VS by 2 and VC naught is equal to minus VS by 2. Substitute in the phase voltages. So we get VAB is equal to VS by 2, VBC is equal to VS by 2 and VCA is equal to minus VS. VS by 2 plus VS by 2 is equal to 2VS by 2, which is nothing but VS. This is the third step. The third step, 120 to 180 degree, S3 and S6 are closed. So in this, S3 is on the top side and S6 on the bottom side. So S3 takes the path through B and S6 takes the path through C. So VA naught is obviously equal to 0. VB naught is equal to VS by 2 and VC naught is equal to minus VS by 2. So substitute that in the phase voltage expressions. We get VAB is equal to minus VS by 2, VBC is equal to VS and VCA is equal to minus VS by 2. Similarly, we have to calculate for the other voltage also, that is for the other intervals, that is the 4th, 5th and 6th 60 degree phase intervals, and then the cycle is going to continue. So if you substitute, we get the expressions for VA naught, VB naught, VC naught, that is the line voltages, and VAB, VBC and VCA. Those are the phase voltages. So just substitute, applying those expressions in the waveform, we get the waveform like this. So we can see that the phase voltages are giving us a stepped output waveform. So this is the AB phase voltage, this is BC phase voltage, and this is CA phase voltage. So this clearly shows that our DC input is converted into a 3-phase AC output. So that's all about 180 degree conduction mode and 120 degree conduction mode of a 3-phase voltage source inverter.